Hey, what is up, YouTube? Andrew Rooney here. We have made it. We are at the end of Keith Moon / The Who week. And I think this is a fitting way to round out the week. I've thrown it over to my patrons, my dear patrons, and in particular a patron who has been there from the beginning, Finesse Muse. I'm going to read out Finesse Muse's message here on Patreon, which was a suggestion for a way to finish off the week. Here is a link to the filmed footage of Won't Get Fooled Again, but this time it is a 6-camera view. Mooney has a cam dedicated to him. It literally just dropped to YouTube earlier today, and here is the link. Guys, original video link as always in the description. Go along, check it out. The beginning and the end has no audio, but it is still worth watching since you will see Mooney enter the stage like a bowling ball and end with the band members and audience celebrating on stage. Regardless, you should make the time on your own to watch the whole rockumentary because this is from The Kids Are Alright, a 1979 film. The request is The Who, Won't Get Fooled Again, Shepperton Studios, 1978. It's a 6-camera view, 1978, the final year of Keith Moon's life. So we started this week with a really early pick, which was 64 or 65. Now we're ending at the end, 1978. Guys, I hope you really dig this. Remember, I do have a Who Keith Moon playlist now. Dig in, check it out, and as always, thank you for the support. Sub, like, comment down below, and let's get it. Wow, look at this footage. Oh, glorious footage. This is, oh my God. I see what you mean, Finesse Muse. This is just such a beautiful time capsule. I'm expecting the sound to just come in any second. What an incredible time capsule. I don't know which screen to look at. Moon's got headphones on. Interesting. I wonder why. Is he playing along to a track? So many questions already. When is the sound going to come in? Here we go. His hand. We'll talk about hyperactivity. He is mimicking a keyboard part that I'm assuming Entwistle has played on the track. I don't know what's quite going on here, but he's mimicking the keyboard part around his drums without actually touching the drums. So we've got a level of control here because I guess he could just launch into actually playing that keyboard part on the drums, but he's not. He's mimicking it. So he can't control himself enough to not do anything. I guess it's showmanship, right? But he is controlled enough to know it's not appropriate to play there. What a fascinating individual. Still going. Set up. something really, really interesting here. He's not playing the drums that hard. I don't know if you're ever going to hear that on any Keith Moon / The Who reaction. He's not hitting the drums very hard. Completely controlled. Wow. Wow. We got a full stack going on over here on guitar as well. So I'm assuming the stage volume is quite loud. First time I'm noticing the taped headphones on Moon. I have heard of this. I've seen this before in photos. First time seen it in action. And then you've got Entwistle. Stoic on the bass. Very, very interesting. Let's keep it going.
Change it had to come. We knew it all along. We're liberated from the board, song. But the world looks just the same, and history ain't changed. 'Cause the banners they all flown in the last war. I'll tip my hat to the new Constitution.
Listen to the rhythm section work on this whole section. I mean, I don't want to end up stopping this video too many times, but listen to the way they tie up this phrase, fill and tie up a phrase and move on. It is beautiful. Check it out.
But the world looks just the same, and history ain't changed. 'Cause the banners they all flown in the last war. I'll tip my hat to the Constitution. Take a bow of new revolution. Trying to create a change all around. Pick up my guitar and play just like yesterday. And I'll get on my knees and pray. We don't get fooled again. Don't get fooled again. No, 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 no.
Wow, look at that mic going. He can't control it now.
Myself and my family aside. If we happen to be lucky for life, get on my papers and smile at the sky. For I know that the hypnotized never lie. Do ya?
Looks like we've got concert toms. Just looking at the kit, it looks like the floor tom has got a bottom head on it, but the two rack toms over here, they look like concert toms, and I can see mics going inside the bottom of them. So no heads on the bottom on these two toms. And then I know he's got another set of two toms, another two rack toms over to his right, our left. Those look to have no bottom heads as well. And the bass drum's got no bottom head. And I believe no muffling. I'll have to hopefully get a different view of the bass drum. But I've got a funny feeling no muffling on the on that bass drum. Hopefully we get another view of it. And I'm just looking at another drum. It must be a tom. On the bottom right box. That does have a bottom head. I thought it was the snare, but it's not because it's got no snare wires strainer on the bottom. Really interesting. He's an original. I love that part here. Check this out. It's my first time hearing it, but I love this part where they've all got their hands up in the air, except Entwistle. He's the stoic, mellow one. Look at the other three. Rock stars, man. Check it out. You've got hands everywhere, just that plea to the crowd, like, oh man, this is just so good.
Looks any different to me, and the slogans are replaced by the fire, and the parting on the left.
You catch that? Moon just changed writing surfaces mid-verse. Mid-verse. Trying to think of the... I mean, I'm sure this is not completely original. I'm sure it's happened many a time. Just trying to think of another song where that happens, where you change ride surfaces mid-verse, although he is switching from different crashes or different rides. So here we have a clear view of the kit and no hi-hats. No, actually, scratch that. I can see hi-hats. I can see a hi-hat clutch. Is he going to play the hi-hats, or is he just stomping on it? Let's keep it going. I'm just going to go back and check this out. Changing ride surfaces, changing soundscapes mid-verse. Not transitioning from the verse to the chorus on a different surface. Mid-verse. No rules.
And the slogans are replaced by the fire, and the parting on the left is now parting on the right, and the fields of all no longer overnight. Until I had to new constitution, take goodbye for the new revolution, starting breathing, change all around, pick up my guitar and play, just like yesterday. Yeah, I get on my knees and pray. We don't get fooled again. Don't get fooled again. No, 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 no. Don't get fooled again.
Moon solo. Moony cam. Love it. Oh. Crowd claps completely out of time. Stop it! sledgehammer come down on the gong? Who set that off? There it goes. We're destroying gear here. Wow, what did he just jump off? What is he standing on there? My God. Crowd running on. They're actually encouraging them to come running on the stage. You don't see that. We'll never see that these days. And I think we've got a stage manager saying, hey, no, I don't think so. Footage. This footage. Wow. Who's this? Wow, look at this. Is that it? Oh, they're chanting for an encore. Wow, yes. A great way to bookend the Who Keith Moon week with this very later performance and starting it with a very early one. That was completely by accident. It's just the way the request came in. And just thinking about the whole destructive element, I gotta be honest, that part of it, not for me. I totally get at the time and in certain situations, i.e. Jimi Hendrix burning his guitar, I totally get it as a statement, depending on the era, depending on what statement you're trying to make. But to repetitively do it, it sort of loses its power and becomes a bit of a gimmick. I think I get pretty tired with venues and engineers, especially if mics are getting smashed, and then you've got to replace. Mics are expensive. But hey, I don't want to be the old man shaking my fist at the cloud at something that was going on in the 60s and 70s. It has affected music. I think it's affected glam metal. I think it was a forerunner for all that stuff. Sort of the posturing around the stage. Pete Townsend with the windmill guitar strums. And obviously, I don't know, I can't think of someone else who, off the top of my head, was destroying kits. Yeah, that now, in a 2023 environment, I don't think that's going to impress people, or, you're probably just going to look like a idiot. This, you have to think of things in the era, though. 60s and 70s, coming out of, I guess, a polite era, broadcasting standards, certain things you're allowed to do, certain things you're not. I think, was it Psycho? Hitchcock movie was the first film to show a toilet, a toilet seat up or something in a film. It's very hard to put yourself back into an era where certain things would have been shocking and completely unusual. And, these guys are unhinged. We have to go to their next concert because they blew up the drum kit at this gig. We have to go see these guys when they get to this part of town. Sure. Also, not having the internet in the 60s and 70s, obviously, right? So there'll be a lot of myth and legend, and stories will be just getting bigger and bigger, snowballing, and, you get this legendary mythology behind this band. And in the case of The Who, it's probably warranted that there were some pretty hard rockin', real deal rock and roll stories going on. Anyway, in terms of the band, it's an interesting one. You lose a lot of definition not having hi-hats. I'm just going to say it. Just going to put it out there and be completely transparent. Lose a lot of definition. We're used to hearing, especially in verses of songs, closed hi-hats. That's your ride surface. And then in the choruses, when you want to open things up, you'll either go to a crash or a ride or crash on the ride to open things up. I mean, generalizing here. And we get used to that real controlled, heavy but controlled sound where you can still make out dialogue and but here we're riding on crashes or rides the whole time. Really, really interesting for me here to see how, I wouldn't say he was playing cautiously, he was playing controlled. Moon the Loon and all that, and this guy destroys a drum kit, plays it like he rents it. He played that drum kit like it owed him money. He treated it like it owed him money, especially standing on it, jumping off it, and Pete Townsend, throwing cymbals away, pushing them with his guitar. But when the song was on, song was king. Song was king. And he really did it justice and paid attention to the appropriate dynamic and the appropriate parts. So for as reckless as Keith Moon may or may not have been, when the music is on, the music is number one. I think I said it on the first video, maybe the second reaction that I did for this week. Keith Moon is a natural musician who is inside the music. He's one of these rare people where he's just inside the music. He's internalized his part. He kind of is his part. He spills over onto the drum part. He and his personality just come through and leave this signature, a very unique and soulful, I would say, in a way, honest signature on the music. I'd be curious to know if anyone can hit me in the comments. The headphones obviously indicates to me tracks. He's playing along with tracks. I doubt it's click tracks. And at some point they probably just turned it off. But hit me up if you know how sort of they were setting up for gigs by circa 1978. Absolutely fascinating. I haven't talked about Roger Daltrey. I don't think I've even mentioned his name at all. Your sort of blueprint rock star Robert Plant type for me. Interestingly, he doesn't stand out in almost a Black Sabbath way. There's almost just a singer there where other people are almost taking center stage. It's an interesting setup. Pete Townsend's, from my uneducated perspective on The Who, Pete Townsend is up there competing for the limelight. That's what it looks like to me. And then you've got Moon waving his arms around and being a complete showman at the back. And then you've got the stoic Entwistle just killing it. That guy is a serious bass player. I would love to know. Actually, I should have dug into his background. Again, hit me in the comments with his background. Does he have like a classical or a jazz? He's got some kind of deep musical background. I can just see it and hear it in his playing. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for joining me on this journey. I do know a lot more about Keith Moon and The Who now, and that's all that I can do. I started the week pretty uneducated completely on The Who, and now I've ended it with a much better idea of Keith, the band, how things went in the band, and this fascinating style, which is very hard to pin down. 60s, 70s rock, but also extended jams. And I mean, things like there were drum solos in this. And, you know, I read when I did the read through to start the week off that, you know, he hated drum solos and he often refused to do drum solos. Well, he's doing drum solos in this song, but this is towards the end, and I know things had spiraled and gotten quite difficult for Keith and the band, as it will in any band. Touring and recording from the mid-60s to the late 70s, you would have seen and been through a few things. Just so many fascinating aspects to the man, the myth, the legend, Keith Moon, and the band The Who. Again, thanks for watching. Thanks, Finesse Muse. Thank you to all the patrons for your patronage. I always do like to throw it over to the patrons like I did for this pick. And although I cannot do every patron's pick, I do my best. I'll throw it over. If there is a space there that I can fill, I'll throw it over the patrons and say, hey, what do the patrons want to see? As something of a reward for their fantastic support. Finesse Muse, you've been there since the beginning. Thanks again. Guys, if you dug this video, please be sure to hit that subscribe button, like button, and leave a comment with what you thought of this video and what I should check out in the future. If you would like to support my channel further, I do have a Patreon. It's just $5 a month. You will get access to the blocked videos. If you have a direct reaction request that you definitely want to get done on this channel, that is via the PayPal link. And remember, you as a subscriber of my channel, you get access to a full and free 30-day trial over at Drumeo. 30 days, completely free. They got a bunch of The Who stuff there, transcriptions. I had a look at it the other day. It is incredible. Go and jump on it. Incredible resources. It's free on me. What band are we going to do a full week on next? Let's see. Guys, until next time, keep chopping wood. Do not destroy your drum kit. Love it. Care for it. Look after it. Take care. Ciao.